In this lesson, we'll look at understanding storage options. Windows 10 is designed to meet the needs of many types of devices, from big workstations that can easily have terabytes of storage, to mobile devices that need to conserve their much smaller storage space. Now, this flexibility can be seen in the storage options that are built into Windows 10. And regardless of which type of device you have, you'll be sure to benefit from configuring your storage. In this lesson, I'm using a device that has about 60 gigabytes of storage on the main drive. Some space on this drive is reserved for recovery options and other resources for performance. Now, there was a time when 60 gigabytes seemed like a lot of space. However, after you install a couple of big applications used for productivity, the latest Office suite, and a couple of good games, and then you have to start thinking about whether importing all of your pictures, music, and videos would really be a good idea. You'll run into the same situation on a laptop or a desktop computer that has a smaller, solid-state drive for the operating system and perhaps another drive for storage. Often Windows will default to adding things to the main storage drive, and this can really become a problem over time. Juggling space isn't anything new. We've actually struggled with this scenario for years. But some of the most recent updates to Windows 10 have made the struggle a little easier to manage. Let's look at the storage tools found in the Settings app. In Settings, we'll go to System, and then Storage. As you can see, Windows performs a quick scan to update the displayed information on my storage. The result is I have a nice breakdown showing how much space is being used and how it's being used. If I want more details, I can select any of these categories to see a more detailed breakdown. Notice there's a link here to show more categories, and this makes a much longer list, and now I can see that system files are taking the biggest chunk out of my space. I'm going to reduce this list again because Windows is showing me the categories that I can do the most about. While it's good to know how much space is being taken by system files, generally there's not a whole lot I can do about how much space is being hoarded by the system. Now, these categories only reflect the way the space is being used on this device. On some devices, other categories can appear. Pictures, music, videos, and OneDrive are all examples of data categories that can fill up our storage space pretty quickly. Drilling down into these categories is not simply a way to get information. In Apps and Features, I could take actions also. For some apps, it's pretty easy to uninstall an app that I don't use. If I have more than one storage device, I can also see the option on most apps to move them. Below the storage categories, there are two links that you should be especially aware of if you have more than one storage location. First off, I can change the focus of this scan to another drive. I can select View Storage Usage on other drives, and it will show me my connected drives. I can select a drive to check out how my space is being used on that drive. Now, this is a nice feature just by itself. The second link lets me change where new content gets saved. For example, going forward, I could select my other drive for photos, and then when pictures are imported in the future by the Photos app, they'll now go to that other drive. Now, this will not move pictures that have already been imported to my main drive. So if I was in a pinch for space and I felt I really needed to move a lot of pictures, I would have to do this manually. A very new tool included in Windows is located up at the very top of this area. Now, this switch for Storage Sense may not be enabled on your device. If it isn't, it may be a good idea to enable it. Storage Sense is designed to help you recover space taken up by Windows system files. As an example, Windows can hold on to files after updates so that things can be rolled back if you have problems. Selecting this link lets me look at the way Storage Sense is currently configured. And if I really need to make space right now, I could run this tool manually. On this device, Storage Sense is set to run when I'm low on disk space. I can also set it to run daily, weekly, or monthly. So this tool provides us one way to try and recover space when I notice I'm running out. Under Temporary Files, there are options to automatically empty the recycle bin and Downloads folder. There have been some changes to the way OneDrive works when syncing content from the cloud to a device. I can manage how my device treats files that are currently downloaded on my device with this drop-down menu. If everything is configured the way I want it, I can select the Clean Now button to let Windows recover space using these settings. Managing space on a device can be a challenge over time, but setting up Storage Sense to routinely run is a great way to safely limit how much system information is allowed to take up space on our device. There are a few other things you can do that will help you in struggling with limited storage. Moving media to folders on a secondary storage, and then adding those folders to a library is one good trick. Also, configuring OneDrive to use your secondary storage can also be an important step. We're going to look at libraries and setting up OneDrive in other lessons, so you may want to check those out. In this lesson, we've looked at understanding storage options. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson.